In an event that will be remembered as one of Brighton's most bizarre transport disruptions, two rogue squirrels, rumored to be cousins of the infamous Gatwick train attackers, wreaked havoc aboard a bus heading toward Brighton Pier. The bus, operating Route 27, was forced to make an emergency stop when the furry assailants launched an unprovoked attack on unsuspecting passengers. Eyewitnesses report the incident started peacefully enough, with the squirrels boarding the bus at Churchill Square, seemingly unnoticed. However, things took a swift and chaotic turn when the pair began what can only be described as an all-out rodent rampage. Alfie Scroggins, a 42-year-old plumber, recounted his ordeal, with wide eyes and trembling hands. "It all happened so fast. I was sitting near the back, minding my own business, when I noticed this furrier-looking squirrel, slightly taller than the other one, maybe about 10 centimeters high. It was just perched on the seat next to me, giving me the evil eye. The next thing I know, it started hissing at me. Hissing and cussing, if you can believe it, like a little furry demon." Scroggins' harrowing tale took a turn for the worse when the squirrel leapt onto his ankles, gnashing its tiny teeth. "It went straight for my ankles like it had a grudge. I tried to shake it off, but the little bugger was determined. I swear I could hear it shouting, 'Give me your peanuts, mate.' It was like something out of a horror film. I was holding on to my nuts for dear life." Meanwhile, Doris Featherbottom, a 67-year-old retired librarian, found herself face to face with the other squirrel, which she described as a bit scraggly with a certain mischievous glint in its eye. According to Featherbottom, the squirrel sidled up next to her and attempted to rummage through her handbag. "I thought it was just looking for some crumbs or something, but no, it went straight for my Werther's Originals." Featherbottom told Mirth Matters News, shaking her head in disbelief. "I could have handled it going after the biscuits, but my Werther's? That's just plain rude." At this point, chaos ensued as passengers began leaping out of their seats in panic. Some attempted to flee to the front of the bus, only to be thwarted by the squirrel's cunning. The furrier one later dubbed Squeaky the Menace stood in the aisle like a rodent bouncer, blocking the passengers' escape route. Colin Dingleworth, a middle-aged man known for his remarkably poor luck with animals, found himself the next target of the squirrel's wrath. "I was sitting there, trying to keep calm, when the scraggly one jumped on my lap and just started slapping me across the face," Dingleworth claimed. "It was like getting mugged by a fluffy hand grenade." As the bus driver, Graham "Grumpy" Saunders, became aware of the pandemonium behind him, he swiftly pulled the vehicle over. Grumpy, a seasoned Brighton bus driver of 20 years, later told reporters that, in all his years on the job, he'd never seen anything like it. "I've dealt with rowdy teens, drunk tourists, and once even a runaway goat, but two squirrels hijacking me bus. That's a new one," Grumpy admitted, shaking his head. "I tried to shoo 'em out, but one of 'em had already chewed through a seatbelt, and the other was working on disarming the air freshener. By the time reinforcements arrived in the form of the Brighton and Hove Animal Control Unit, the bus was in complete disarray. Seat cushions had been shredded, snacks looted, and an alarming number of passengers were found hiding under their seats in fear of further squirrel assaults." Dave Jenkins, the head of the Animal Control Unit, spoke to reporters after the incident, stating, "We've had rogue seagulls, cheeky foxes, and the occasional badger incident, but squirrels? This is new territory. They were clever, organized even. We suspect they may be part of a wider squirrel syndicate operating along the coast." As for the squirrels, they made a daring escape just before the authorities could apprehend them. Eyewitness reports suggest the pair were last seen scurrying toward the Brighton Pavilion, presumably to regroup and plan their next strike. The bus company has since issued a statement apologizing for the disruption and is offering free bus travel for those who were involved in the incident. They have also installed extra precautions, including squirrel-proof barriers and a ban on any suspiciously large bags of nuts aboard public transport. The passengers, however, remain shaken by their encounter with Brighton's most fearsome furballs. Alfie Scroggins, still recovering from his ankle wounds, offered this final thought. "I'll never look at squirrels the same way again. It's like they know too much. Next time, I'm bringing a spray bottle of water just in case." The city remains on high alert, with locals warned to be cautious around small, furry creatures acting suspiciously. For now, Brighton's buses are back in operation, but passengers will be keeping an eye on their snacks and hoping the squirrels don't return for round 2.